All right, Nick, big win today by the Detroit Lions. A really good Falcons team came to town, a lot of weapons. Detroit had answers late in the game. They started to heat up, started to get things going. I think this is a really big win by the Lions, and we're going to break that down today.
This is an absolutely monumental win for the Lions. Obviously, beating an undefeated Falcons team, it's a good win. Could eventually affect playoff seedings, who knows? But we're going to take a deep dive into what was so monumental about this. But before we do that, Lions fans, now's your chance in the comment section below to give us your MVP for this 20-6 Lions victory. A lot of different names should be on the top of that list, both on offense and defense. But got to pick one. Who's your MVP? And put them in the comment section below. But all right, Miles, give me your thoughts on this Lions victory. What are your big takeaways coming out of it?
Yeah, Nick, first we got to give some props to the offense who played very well. Goff ran for a touchdown, threw for another, looked pretty good. But I think that the keys of today on the offensive side of the ball were the rookies. Sam Laporta, big day, 84 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, another 80 yards on the ground. He also caught one pass for 2 yards. Nothing notable there, but they did really well, the young rookies. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks like a star for this team, 9 catches for 102 yards. So overall, a lot of bright points on the offensive side of the ball. But I think the real key here is the defense and how they shut down this Falcons team, who, do not be mistaken, has a ton of weapons around the ball. Let's look at those stats. You see Brian Branch, the rookie, coming there, 11 tackles on the day, all over the field, wrapping stuff up. Aiden Hutchinson, your superstar, the voice, the face of this team, 2 sacks on the day. I believe there was 6 sacks total for the team. Aiden Hutchinson also got the forced fumble as well, and he recovered it. So a huge day on the defensive side of things for the Lions. Nick, this looked like a complete football game by a complete football team in the Lions. What are your thoughts on this one?
So going into this game, if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan or coach or anyone who was rooting for the Falcons, you wanted 2 things to happen. You wanted the Lions to be banged up in the front 7 on defense, and they were. Obviously Houston and Pascal. They're out for the long term. Those are key players in the run game. And number 2, you wanted the game to be physical. You wanted the game to be low scoring. You wanted it to be a grounded pound kind of game, play action, field positions, defense kind of game. Because if you're a Falcons fan, you're like, this is how we can beat the Detroit Lions. We got to make them play our game because we are better at that. We're better at being physical and running the ball than Lions. Not the case. This is what really stood out to me for this Detroit football team, is that the Atlanta Falcons came in and got everything they could have possibly wanted to. It was the game the Falcons wanted to play, and they got their butt kicked by the Lions. I think this is what's so exciting about this Detroit football team, because if you look at what they did to this Falcons running game, it's a great running game, great offensive line, great backs, Bijan Robinson, Algier. This is a really good Falcons running game. If you look at the stats, it's ridiculous. 20 carries, 44 yards, 2.2 yards per pop. That is outright and undeniable physical domination by the Detroit Lions up front. Of course, you brought up their sacks in the pass rush game as well. To me, that's what's really exciting about this Lions team, because we know on offense, they're going to be explosive. They have the ability to put up a lot of points. We've known that from last year. We saw it last week against the Seattle Seahawks. But the fact that they're able to come against the Atlanta Falcons, and literally the Falcons played the exact style of football the Falcons wanted to play, and the Detroit Lions were a lot better at them than the Falcons were. That, to me, is the best sign going forward, Detroit. I always look for teams that can win multiple ways, and I also look for teams that can beat good teams when the game is going the tempo of their opponent. The Lions proved it here. Everything was going the way the Falcons would have thought they would have wanted it to go. Didn't matter. The Detroit Lions, clearly the better opponent today.
Yeah, Nick, I would agree with you. The Falcons, they played their brand of football, and Detroit just played it better. This is a physical team. It's a young team. I think we talk about this all the time. The culture Dan Campbell brought in, the rebuilding of this unit, he had a plan. He stuck to the plan. We saw it, 2+ years in, and now we're seeing the results. Now we see the return on investment for this Lions team. It looks like a championship caliber roster, maybe a little bit more time, and they're going to get there. But this is a team easily makes it to the playoffs in my mind if they keep playing the type of football they're playing, because they have playmakers all around the ball. All of their draft picks look like they're hitting. This just looks like a good football team, and that's not something the Lions fans are probably very used to. All around the ball. Defense last year was the big question until the end of the year. They'd be, wow, well, offense has been historically good. Defense, very questionable, very so-so. Now you're looking at the defense. The defense kept you in this game and pretty much won the game. They let the offense, get the final points. In the last few quarters, it was 3-13 at one point in time until the fourth. So you're able to get this win by a strong performance, keeping the Atlanta Falcons to 6 points. And I think the Falcons, they're a good team, but the Lions should be very, very proud because they look like they have a great team.
And just one final point to hit on, the Atlanta Falcons are designed to be a second half team, certainly on offense. They wear opponents down. They did it week 1 to Carolina. They did it week 2 to Green Bay. Look at these Falcons drives in the second half. Missed field goal, punt, turnover on downs after the Falcons picked off Jared Goff, field goal, fumble, end of the game. The Detroit Lions gave up nothing but kicks and fourth down stops and forced turnovers on an Atlanta Falcons offense that's designed to take over games in the second half. When you have a defense that can do that, there is no ceiling, right? You could literally be a Super Bowl team. Everyone looked at the victory in Kansas City as a sign that the Lions have arrived. That was obviously a big sign and a big win, but winning a game like this, I think this is the best sign forward that this is a legitimate title contending team that Detroit has.